Hello, good evening and welcome. Welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Foxtail, on the panel tonight as a one and only Bridgeman and a legend in the building, Blue Star. How are we doing?
Hi, Foxtail.
Sorry I read that long. It's legend.
Legend. Okay. Can I just say a big good evening to you boys in the panel? Huge good evening to the guys in the lobby. And to all the Rangers fans listening in all over the world, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
How are we doing, Bridge?
I'm doing very well, thank you, pal. Very well indeed.
Man. How are you, Blue Star?
Yep. Fine, Oxjair, yourself?
Aye, want to be yourself.
No bad, mate, no bad. Recovered, you know, that Fox, you know how hard work he is, you know.
I know. He's very hard work. Very hard work.
But I'm still there again. We always have a good time. Blue Star, you'll be watching a wee bit of football today, yeah?
Well, I watched our so-called national team, and then now I've got Northern Ireland game on. And I have to say, the three Rangers players two Rangers players and one on the way. They seem to be playing fairly well, yeah.
Good note. But obviously, Mr. Clark, Mr. McInnes, Mr. Wright, and they must be producing real good football players, Bridgeman, eh?
Yeah, you know, that mob across the road, the Aberdeen, they're all, and you know, the Kilmarnock players, all fabulous stars of international acclaim, and they're absolutely pumped. That's the truth of it. I haven't seen it, I don't know anything about it, but I just know 3-0 is a pumping in international quality, a pumping. And a long may ever lum reek at it too, I'll tell you.
Aye, well. I find it quite sad.
Guys.
I find it quite sad where we are with the national team. I know there's some Rangers supporters with different views, but as your national team, Blue Star, I do find it sad that we've lost all interest.
Totally agree with you, Ox. I think most of our fans have lost interest, and it's a sad reflection in our game, because the bottom line is, whether we like it or not, if you play for the Glasgow Rangers, then if you're Scottish, the obvious answer to that is you want to play well with Rangers, and your next step is also to play for your national team. But I'm afraid at the moment, the national team, if we're all being honest, it's there's not much excitement about it, is there? Not really, no.
Well, we've been looking, trying to look forward and looking at what's happening now. I think we might have time to have a wee walk down memory lane as the show develops tonight, Bridge.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
As long as it didn't go too far back, I'm knackered. My memory's knackered. Only joking, guys. Only joking.
Start plotting. We'll maybe get your best 11s, and obviously me and Blue Star are far too young, but we can still have a go. Maybe look at the 60s, Bridge, and then maybe as the week develops, we can look at the different decades, some of the players we had, some of the great players we've had at different times. We're not always unsuccessful teams. If you take the start of the 60s, we had, some people argue, the greatest Rangers team. And by the end of the decade, we went about, was it 5 years without a trophy, Blue Star?
Yep, we certainly did, yeah. And as I say, as you've just said, a lot of Rangers fans do think that team was certainly one of the best. It just goes to show you the talent that must have been in our country at that time.
Aye, and these guys, you're talking about Scotland, some of these guys weren't hardly get caps.
That's right.
You know, because the competition again in the national team was fierce.
Yep.
You know, but how the Scottish game's fallen, but hopefully we'll have a look maybe as the night develops, Bridgeman.
Yeah, absolutely, pal. Absolutely.
Well, are you over the hut yet? Have a bad result? Seen a stat that it came up that Rangers are on a 10-game unbeaten run. It means nothing to us, does it?
No, you know, it's difficult to believe that stat's anywhere near the truth. You follow what I mean? But it's just incredible. We're so disappointed as a support. We're going to our Ibrox, and that we're looking for that to be a safe haven, be a very, very tough place for teams to come and play their football. and they're not even playing football. They're making it tough. There's no doubt about that. Other teams are making it tough, but making it tough for us, and it should be the other way about. We should be making it tough for them, and we should have a stadium there that's a fortress. Hopefully we're going to do that, and the management and the board are building towards that, because we really need to get that fortress. That's got to be the mainstay of our point collection during any season, as we have to be winning at Ibrox. People should be scared to come to Ibrox. Scared might not be the word, but they must be very concerned or worried, and they should be the team that's worried coming to Ibrox, as opposed to us worrying about somebody coming to Ibrox. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what Bridge is coming for, but obviously we've had some bad results. The 2 Aberdeen games, one in the league, one in the cup. 2 Kilmarnock games, both finished in 1 each draws at Ibrox.
Mm-hmm.
The Hibs game, well, I don't know how we managed to draw that game. We started to draw for the jaws of victory, Blue Star.
Yeah, so I'd like to say something tonight. I think probably, looking back and reflecting on what I've been saying on the show the last few nights, I've probably been a bit maybe overcritical, and it wasn't until the day, and I was looking back at just simply what you were saying earlier on there. I was looking back at some old games, and I came to the conclusion that while some of us might think, oh, we need 6, 7, 8 new players, that's not always the case at all. 2 and 3 players can absolutely turn a side absolutely around for being also to winners, because 2 and 3 players can just bring everybody else into their level, their positions, etc. So we maybe are far better off than we even realise now. It maybe just needs a bit of tinkering, a couple of real quality players in certain positions, and you could see a massive turnaround in our performances, and hopefully that is the case for next season.
What did you think of Fox's point, Bridgeman, about rent or buying him? The way he described it, I thought it was very good. You rent maybe a £20 million player to improve your quality.
Yeah,
rather than buying them.
Yeah, he's actually, I take my hat off to Fox. He's been consistent in that way. He's saying we should be your marquee signing. For instance, take a marquee signing, somebody anywhere upwards of £10 million, and you buy him on the never, if you follow. I mean, you just rent him to all intents and purposes and give him the money as opposed to give the club the money. Work it out in some way or other. But he would be your marquee signing. I don't know whether that would work for us. I don't know whether we would. I don't know whether we've got the management that can do that. You follow what I mean? Because that's kind of tough negotiations and things like that. But I would just love us to have a stronger team in 4 or 5 different positions. And much as Blue Star said there, you bring in a marquee signing, whether we get them in rent or whether we get them in any other way. My preference is if we've got the money, let's buy them in. And I'm looking for forgive me once again, a big centre half that will bring everybody together. It's his defence. Defence creates the security, and that's the way it works. If your midfield can take it, they can go and do what they got to do and destroy teams with skills, and your forwards can put the ball in the net. It's simple. For me, it's quite simple. Get a good goalkeeper, get a tremendous defence. You really need a good defence, and a huge big centre half. It's a big star. For me, he's a real star, and he can play football.
Blue Star's doing a Bridge.
No, not at all. I thought I was waiting on yourself coming in, Ox.
I might have been doing a Bridge then. How far from what Bridge is saying do you think we actually are?
Again, Ox, for me, I think Bridge is right. I would say a strong domineering centre half. Certainly the same in the middle of the park. And yeah, if Alfie goes, and even if Alfie doesn't go, he's still going to need help up there. Does that mean we stick with Lafferty and Defoe? We're only going to know that after the close season, mate. But yeah, if we could get at least 3 real quality players right up our spine, I think it would make a massive difference to us. I really do.
Mm-hmm. All right.
With Blue Star, I think what you were saying earlier is absolutely true. When you look at, you list all the players down that are basically Steven Gerrard's first team picks, they're no bad players. Yeah. But sometimes the mix and match doesn't work, or one of them's carrying an injury. But we have been saying for a while we need a leader, and that could be a shall we say, a Barry Ferguson type midfield, or it could be a Terry Butcher at the back, invariably, or you go even as far as to say you could get McGregor as captain. So you need someone who's a figurehead that can be the captain in the team and can actually drive the team forward. And whatever part of the team they're playing in particularly, a defence, they can control a defence and work it out. And to be perfectly honest with you, him that come up, I can't remember his name now, Clint, what was his name? Clint Hill.
Clint Hill.
I thought Clint Hill did a marvellous turn for us. He was only here just over a season or something like that. And I think he did a very, very good job for us.
Very popular, he was well liked.
He saw him organising the defence a wee bit. And we saw Macaulay starting to do that, but unfortunately, Macaulay's not got the strength and his shall we say, he's not fit enough, and he'll probably be too injury prone and things like that to do it. But really and truly, I'm quite happy. Wonderful. All the Rangers fans are desperate to be able to keep Morelos there. He's the one that'll put the ball in the net. And if we can't get Morelos, in other words, if we sell him, we really have to get somebody in that's, I'm not saying the same quality because he's a top quality player, but someone like that we can bring in and score the goals, because we desperately need to score goals, don't we?
Getting that blend, Blue Star, it's getting that blend, because it's amazing how your best players don't make your best team, man.
Absolutely. And it's a bit like what we were saying last week, Ox. I don't think I gave wee Alfie anywhere like the credit he was due until the start of this season, because last season, I've got to be honest, I just thought a team like Rangers shouldn't be relying on at times I thought he was just a wee petulant boy. I've got to be truthful, I did. And it was at the start of this season I looked at it, and I looked at his all-round game, and there was umpteen games where the amount of players that were feeding off him and that he was bringing them onto a better game. And that's how I came to that conclusion today, that sometimes you maybe only need a bit of tweaking, 2 or 3 here and there, and it's amazing how they can bring and set other players on their game,
The guy that I was hoping that we would be able to bring through, and not bring through, but to be able to use, I rated him very, very highly. I still do probably, is Dorrans. But at the back of everyone's mind now, we don't know if Dorrans is ever actually going to be able to play properly again for us. I think the injuries have probably done for him. And that'll be a sin, because I think he's a fantastic player, a brilliant player, and reads a ball well, And I dare say that's where Davis has come in. They brought Davis in because they might not get Dorrans back quick enough. And, it's all there for me. I can just see the way that the manager's trying to do it. I just hope that Davis is only going to serve us for another 2 seasons, maximum another 2 seasons, if indeed we get 2 seasons at him. But if he stays with us next season, he's going to be a far better player than he has been up to now. And he's only been here a couple of months, but you could see the rawness in him, struggling with shall we say, no lack of match fitness, and he's starting to come out now, playing quite well for Northern Ireland tonight, played well for us in our last game against Kilmarnock, and hopefully that's going to build up to the sort of busy period after the split, and we're going to get something to him.
All right. Blue Star mentioned about a big centre-half, maybe a captain mould in modern football. We're asking everybody out there, how important is the captain's role? Give us a phone, and what's the number, Bridge?
The number's 0141 356 1972.
And where else can they join us, Bridge?
They can join us at Skype, on Skype at rangersradio.online. And when they get in there, if they've not been in before, Foxy / Old School Blue will bring them in and look after them.
And what can they talk about, Blue Star?
They can talk about anything at all to do with Rangers. Any good football points, that would be ideal. That's why we're on here.
Aye. Used to, we span quite a generation between us all, Bridge. Has that been fair?
I don't know. I'm quite young now.
We'll go you the top, me and the bottom.
I know, pal. I know.
Somewhere in the middle, yeah? Is that fair, Blue Star?
That's fair, Hawks, yeah.
Aye, so
that's Davis just scored a penalty for Northern Ireland.
All right, that's good. Get his confidence up. Modern football. How important is the captain's role on the park? Bridgman.
Well, I see the captain's role as critical, to be honest. It's just I've played football most of my life, if not all of it, up to the age of 50 odds, and always someone that can speak and speak sensibly about during a game, can cajole people, can bring them on without causing trouble. Because sometimes it causes trouble, somebody getting onto someone. So a good captain would be well thought of throughout the club, and he should be able to speak to people and bring them on, give them the confidence to be, gee them up a wee bit and have luck.
Did you need to be your best player, Bridge?
No. That doesn't necessarily follow. But he's got to be the big character. He's got to be the character that is, or a character. He can't be I love the Tavernier when he's going forward and things like that, but I don't think Tavernier's a good captain. No disrespect to the boy, I just don't think he's a Rangers captain. I think it takes a lot. You just need to look and put everybody's memory, could go back to and remember seeing John Gregg. He was a great Rangers captain. What do you call him? Richard Gough, marvellous Rangers captain, and so on and so forth. There's certain ones you just look at it and you know they're captain material. And they don't need to be the greatest players in the whole world.
Poster.
No, they certainly don't have to be the best players, Ox. But what they do have to have, especially if you're playing for Rangers, they've got to have respect for the rest of the players. And 9 times out of 10, I think they get that. I'm not saying Tav doesn't have the respect. I'm sure he does. But I would agree with Bridgman in the sense that, for me, he's no captain material for me. Again, 9 times out of 10, it's usually a big, strong centre half or somebody at the back. They see what's happening in the game. If they see somebody needs a wee G up or a bit of a shouting, then they can go and do that. They can shout, right, you get on the ball, start passing it out wider or whatever. I genuinely believe that you need a bit of that on the park, and at the moment I'm not really seeing that for the Rangers. But I think you need a strong character on the park. You definitely do.
On you go.
What was that?
There's a couple of shall I say, there are a couple of styles of captain that are very effective, and the one that most players who are playing in football, and you've done it yourself, and I'll bet you, Oxtear, if you were captain, you'd be one of these guys. You just keep nitting. You nit the person all the time up, nagging at them in their face. Come on, what you doing, blah, blah, blah. Non-stop. That's your game. That's the way you play. And people respect you for what you do.
Never.
I know. But you know what I mean? And, much as I absolutely loved him the way he played, I loved what he did in the park, but I wasn't too keen on his brand of captaincy, but he was very effective. And that's Barry Ferguson. I thought he was a tremendous captain for Rangers. The way he played his game, and it matched in with the way he played, and he'd run right up to the players and get little fist waving things like that. Whereas I loved Terry Butcher as captain. I really did. He led by example. Blood pouring out him. Richard Gough's the same. That led by example. Very effective. Very influential. Barry Ferguson nipped everybody's ear non-stop. It was very effective.
Yeah.
Evening, George. How we doing, mate?
How you doing, boys? All right?
Hi, George.
Just what you were saying there a minute ago there, Rox. I can't you've moved on a wee bit now, but what you were saying a minute ago about, I think the question you asked was what kind of player you'd like to see come into Ibrox, and is that what you said? I think Bridgman was saying a centre half and things like that, and I think the Dorrans one was probably where I was going to go, because I thought we were going to get that skillful football player in the middle of the park. And actually, what you're saying there, actually, my point's sort of two-pronged, if you would, because if we bring in a guy, and I'm not going to say the same standard as Arteta, because there's no many of them going to boot the new, but that sort of style of play, a guy that can spread passes, a guy that can win the ball, he's got a wee bit of everything. He's not just a hard tackler, he's got that bit of skill as well, can open up midfields. I sort of thought I hadn't seen much of the guy, to be honest, but I sort of thought that's what we were getting in Scott Arfield, and he's not been that at all. But if we can get a right skillful midfielder in the midfield, Ox, I don't know if we're going to have to get this guy on loan, because he maybe cost a wee bit of money, or if we can possibly buy somebody. I've not got anybody off the top of my head, but if you bring somebody like that and everybody looks up to him and he makes things happen, Ox, and well, we're always concentrating on bringing wingers in for to get the ball to Alfredo. If you've got a skillful player through the middle of the park that can break up the ball, that can play passes, has got that bit of skill about him, I think that's probably what we're missing. I can't everybody talking about centre halves and things like that, Ox, but if we get a right skillful player in the middle of the park and people look up to him, and
are you talking about Stephen Davis in his peak, mate?
That's exactly what I'm talking about. See, like a Pedro Mendes or a Stephen Davis 2008 and that, Ox, that's the kind of person I'm talking about. Always come back to Arteta, because I think Arteta just came into our team. I can't remember going for Barcelona, but it was at Paris Saint-Germain at the time, and I think he just came into our team and done exactly what everybody wanted him to do. He had Barry Ferguson running about him, and he had certain guys running about him, just different class. And I think if we can get a guy like that into our midfield somehow, I think, and I hate mentioning him earlier, but that wee boy Roberts who they brought in just had that wee bit of something special, and I don't think we can afford that, Ox. But if we can get a guy like that into our team, I don't think we'll be that far away. And I kind of had a few kickings in the last couple of weeks, and everybody's doing that. But I still believe we've got the makings of a half decent team there, Ox. And I think if we can get somebody like that in our midfield, a right skillful player, I think he'll go a long way to setting us to where we want to be. We need other players as well, Ox. Don't get me wrong. Of course, we need other strikers.
But you've got to develop, George. You can't stand still. You've got to develop.
No, of course you can. We need centre halves and that as well. But I would just like to say, I think we've been missing that right skillful midfielder for our team in a long, long time, Ox. And like you say, probably we've been in the past with probably Steve Davis and Barry Ferguson, Pedro Mendes, guys like that in the past, and you think to yourself, we've been really spoiled, and we've not had anything like that in a long, long time, Ox.
Hard to argue with that, Blue Star.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with everything George said there. And that's how I'm saying. We need somebody that can more or less control and demand the ball in midfield and can orchestrate the rest of the team, set the forward passes, the passes going to the wingers, taking the ball after the defenders. At the moment, we've not got anybody like that, and it would be great to get one of them in.
Yeah, I think particularly in midfield, you've got someone like Barry Ferguson, read the game fabulously well, and he wasn't the most skillful, trickiest player in the whole world. But my God, when he moved with the ball, he ran very, very well with it, and he read the opposition. He could read them coming into him, particularly when he was up against.
Funny you should say that, Brad. Sorry for interrupting you about Ferguson not being skillful. Some of the boys that I know and coached played with Barry as a boy, and he said he would take the ball in a telephone box, and that was his skill.
Sorry, pal. I'm only going by what I saw in him. I thought his brother Derek Ferguson was one of the most skillful.
On the eye.
He was one of the most skillful people I've ever seen playing at Ibrox when he came on as a youngster. I do believe that he looked a lot more skillful than when we got Barry. Barry's a smashing player, don't get me wrong. He can play football, and when you watch the position he was playing, he was a midfielder from defence, so basically box to box. He was a marvellous midfielder. He could watch the way everybody else played. He could read the opposition players, and he watched for them coming in. He could ride the tackles, or he could take the tackle. Invariably, he took it and got free kicks and so on and so forth. But I'm not saying he wasn't skillful, because most football players at professional level are very skillful people, with the ball. But I thought he's never a Tanner ball player for me playing for Rangers. But my goodness, was he a smashing midfielder. Can take the ball virtually for a goalkeeper and running up the pitch with it. Great stuff. Wouldn't we love to have someone of his skills in our midfield at the moment? Marvellous.
Do you know what, George? I think he was very unlucky, Barry Ferguson, and back in some of the terms. See the Lovenkrands Cup final?
Aye.
Ferguson was the best man on the park by a distance.
He was outstanding that day, Ox, wasn't he? I mean, that goal he scored, I think he scored 19 goals that season. I looked at my penalties, but he was absolutely fantastic that day. And when we talk about the 8 in a row game, and Gascoigne took the ball with the scruff of the neck and won us the game single-handedly, I think that was the day when when Barry Ferguson, he was just outstanding. I can't recall the Lovencrans final, but Barry Ferguson was outstanding that day. He'd done everything that you'd want your captain today. He was absolutely outstanding. And people say he wasn't that skillful. I see what Bridgman's saying. He wasn't the most skillful player in the whole world, but he could destroy two centre halves with one pass of a ball. And that's what I mean.
Do you remember the 1-0 game against England at Wembley? Barry ran riot. Barry absolutely orchestrated the whole game. He showed other players up that were 4 and 5, 6, 7 times what he was worth. And Barry was man of the match that night. He was absolutely outstanding. I would take issue with Bridge in the sense that when you reckoned that his brother had more skill than him, no, for me, never in a million years. I take the point, you maybe thought Derek maybe went by a few players more. I would get that, but Barry did do that. You must remember, Advocat stopped Barry for doing that because he wanted him to be a sitting midfielder, and Barry used to just take it upon himself now and again and say, "Oh, stuff this, there's a gap here, I'm running through." And if he didn't score, he would lay it in a plate for Durant or somebody. But he was a very, very intelligent player because he was a bit like Alfredo. He brought so many other players in the team and got them all G'd up and got them moving into positions. He was one of the best we've had, without a doubt.
Well, when you like Barry Ferguson, you can't argue with some of the performances he put in.
Yeah.
You know, he was outstanding, and played at an international level as well. Great captain for Scotland. Fabulous player. Fabulous player. And I love the way he strode with the ball. And, when he went to...
I've just had a PM for a good friend of mine that Alex McLeish has actually asked him to go to retirement for the weekend.
I'll tell you what, you really could. You could do with somebody, anybody could do with somebody like Barry Ferguson in their team, and you could play him or ask him to play in virtually any part of the park because he would do you a turn. But loved the way he picked the ball up off the defence and ran. He could run with the ball 30 yards, dead easy, reading the other players, reading the game, reading what's going on, and then became even more of a creator. Wonderful stuff. But I think both Fergusons, when they were young, and there was a big gap between them, age-wise, young Derek Ferguson came in, and Rangers hadn't seen any skills like that since Willie Henderson and Willie Johnson time, So this young boy came out and he was quite dazzling. Barry Ferguson wasn't quite as dazzling when he came out. My memory says, I'm not saying he was a bad player, but any stretch of the imagination, he was a fantastic player. But I loved it when he was put into the midfield and the way he ran the midfield from back to front. Fantastic.
I'll give you that maybe cosmetically sometimes Derek would look a different type of player to Barry because of the way he played the game. But,
indeed.
I think the younger brother, for all-round ability, trounced the older brother.
Oh, God, aye. And by the way, still trounces him for punditry.
Oh, does he? I don't listen. Anyway, yeah. On you go, George.
Games for me, I can't remember you guys to be, but when you start talking about Barry Ferguson, I could honestly go on all night. I can't everybody's got heroes, and I can't usually probably say team boys for 72 and that, but Barry Ferguson for me was just everything I loved about a Rangers player, Rangers captain. He was a Rangers fan, but games for me, that game you're talking about there, the 3-2 game, I don't think there was many players could have lived with him that day. The day when we came up, it didn't matter who Barry Ferguson came up against. He was always, when we were coming up against a Champions League team, they used to do the thing in the paper, this one against this one, and it didn't matter who he came up against. He was never embarrassed. The one for me, always talk about when we played Villarreal, we came up against what was supposed to be the best midfielder in the world at the time, Riquelme, and he got substituted half-base times because Barry Ferguson was absolutely outstanding. And the Bayer Leverkusen one, when he was up against Zé Roberto, absolutely dinnered them in both games, absolutely fantastic. And then the one that nobody really talks about is the Copenhagen one for us to qualify. I think that was his last European
game before he went to Blackburn.
He was absolutely fantastic in the games. But I would just have somebody like that, and it'd bother me or pleasing all we could get a guy for the Hummel Centre. I thought we were going to get one in wee Jamie Ness a few years ago when he came through, but things happened obviously, and then the wee boy they went down south for £1 million. I thought we were maybe getting close to one there, but I don't think Scotland will, and I pray we do, I really do, but honestly I didn't think we're going to get anywhere near the standards of Barry Ferguson. I mean, he was cutting up games absolutely against, it didn't matter who came up against us, he was just absolutely fantastic.
And John, when he did to England, he played very well as well, George. When down into the English leagues, and he played very well as well, that's for sure.
Even in the European
people want to join us, give their thoughts. What's the number? Blue Star.
Oh. I'll give it 0141 356 1972.
Where else can they join us, Bridge?
They can join us on Skype at rangersradio.online, and if it's their first time, folks will make sure they get in, or indeed Old School Blue will bring them in as well.
Just to let you know, Fox has messaged me, Blue Star, that was a test for your rise and your field, all right?
I just wrapped my laptop there off my lap.
Just to let you know, your field. Yeah.
You know what I used to love with... Oh, Steve, you know what I used to love with...
Rises to Zur Fox, didn't he, Bridge?
Aye, he's absolutely filling them.
Aye, don't worry, Blue Star, you'll get a big percentage rise.
I used to love Barry Ferguson when he was playing, particularly them across the city, but certainly when he was playing against the likes of Lennon and his mucker Thompson, and Barry Ferguson used to ram them every single time. I just loved it. He outplayed them, outthought them, outfought them. Fantastic. Just loved the boy for that. Brilliant.
Look at the games in the Champions League then, when we were initially the starters of it, and the teams and the players that we were coming up against in the days. And Barry was never out of place against any of them. If anything, he was always one of the mainstays. And even the players that we were bringing in, especially through Advocaat's era, I mean, some of the midfielders we had in the days were incredible. We'd be biting your hand off to get even one of these guys back now. And Barry could hold his own way.
One of their legs.
Any of them.
One of their legs, aye.
I mean, he could hold his own way, any of them. And if you look at likes of all the great stars that we had in the days, every single one of them in all their books and the lot, they all tell you the same thing. Barry was an exceptional player, and he was pure class.
Yeah.
I'm going to take us a wee nose far back as Barry. Well, so as Barry Ferguson is just
not quite as far back as him.
On this day, George, the last time we played a football match on this day, I don't know if you've been messing about online today or what, George.
I've not seen anything for that. I seen one for yesterday, but I don't think I've seen one for the day ops.
On this day, the 21st of the 3rd, 2010, we played St Mirren in the League Cup final.
Oh, the Pigeons!
Right. I'm sure the Old School Blue will get the goal. I'm going to ask you to name the team. Please, one at a time. If you get one right, you're out. I've got a prize here for a winner. Right, in goal, we'll start with Bridge.
Oh my God. Was it not Ferguson? Yeah, Ferguson. No, McGregor, sorry, McGregor. Oh, Ferguson.
That's you out.
Right, okay, bud.
In goal, Blue Star.
What year was it?
Oh, come on. Don't give yourself more time. I've seen all these tricks before.
I'm looking at actually.
When we only had 9 men, Blue Star. We only had 9 men.
2010. Try to remember.
Out of time. George, come on, tell them the goalie.
It's 2010, the goalkeeper. Oh my God, I thought they would have got that there. It wasn't McGregor, must have been Alexander.
Correct.
Of course, he was a cup goalkeeper, wasn't he? God,
I thought it was McGregor that day as well, but there you go.
So we'll get 4 defenders, 2 centre-halves, 2 full-backs. Anybody want to have a stab at the 2 centre-halves?
Big Davy Weir, maybe?
Davy Weir.
Bugera.
George, I'm sorry about that. You've just lost £1 million jackpot.
I'll get his other one. The boy just left us last year.
Yes, you're getting more.
His name now just left us last year there, Theo. He was actually good with Big Davy. Danny Wilson.
Correct. Fullbacks, Bridgeman.
Oh, for God's sake. Fullbacks.
I think Bridge hates one of them now, Ox. Is that right?
Lee Wallace?
No.
Nah. 2010. I hate him. I hate one of them now.
Yeah,
oh my goodness.
I don't know if I'm maybe talking about the place here. I was thinking. I'm not actually googling because I hate when you do that. But I thought Big Broadfoot was one of them.
No. Come on,
wow. Let's think. I'm very poor. I'm very, very poor. Let's think.
Left back, he was 7 out of 10 every week.
Papach.
Well done.
Papach, he was a fantastic left back too. Fantastic.
Was that Fox that came in there?
Was I speaking out loud there? Sorry, guys.
Oh, aye.
Right back. Come on. Oh, Star, you disappointed me.
I can't think, Ox. Too late at night.
We're going to have to stop this, George, when them get Alzheimer's and all that, aren't we?
Was it the other boy we got for Hibs, Ox? What's his name again?
He's still playing with the Hibs.
Aye, I know.
Oh, God, aye.
Whittaker.
Whittaker, that's a well done, Foxy boy.
This is hard work.
Oh, that's hard work
Can I just say the reason Alexander was playing and McGregor wasn't? I think that was about the time where the reserve goalkeeper played in the League Cup, mate. Is that correct?
Right. That's correct, mate. Right, we're into the midfield. We played with 2 sitters and 1 attacking.
Steve Davis?
Yep.
Naismith?
No in the starting 11.
No.
Oh,
2 sitters.
American boy.
No in the starting 11.
You talking
Kevin
about
Thompson? Kevin Thompson.
Or Edu?
Keep up, Bridge. You've already said
I know. I'm miles away. Sorry, boys.
Right, we signed him for Wigan, Scottish internationalist. Captain of the club.
Big Lee.
Big Lee, there's your 3 in midfield.
Bin man.
Our record goal scorer in the last few years. A guy that's a Spanish legend and one of my all-time favourites there. I can't give you any more clues.
Nacho Novo.
Well, your all-time favourite will be Kenny Miller, I would bet.
Kenny Miller, absolutely, yeah.
Right, that's one.
Scored the goal with the help of the Pigeons.
Boyd.
Spanish.
Is Beasley playing that game?
Novo.
Spanish legend.
Spanish legend?
Nacho Novo, no?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Relatively comfortable. St Mirren aren't opening them up, aren't causing them any major problems.
Right, we're going to clear it, Fox. You got it?
No, I thought I had it to play there, but I couldn't find it.
Who was it got sent off that day? Was it Big Danny Wilson?
Danny Wilson and my mate Kevin Thompson.
Kevin Thompson, that's right. And remember that Walter Smith was slapping Durant in the dugout.
That was funny, wasn't it?
Get that sorted.
The 3 substitutes were Edu, who came on at half time, Naismith in 79 minutes, and Stevie Smith, who came on after 89 minutes.
Yeah.
That's some team, eh? I didn't actually realise. You didn't actually realise when you think about it, Ox. I mean, Alexander, I thought it would be McGregor in goals as well. But if you think about it, Alexander was there in 2008, obviously, for the cup final. And that's 2000. Did you say 2011? 2010. He was still there. He was actually with Rangers quite a long time and done a good job for Rangers over a long space of time. And I ken he was number 2 most of the time. But I look at the big games he played in. Oxken, I looked at the big games. McGregor was suspended or he had a few injuries at the time, and he was in goals for the most of the games. Neil Alexander.
I thought he did quite well for us, truth be told. You were quite right, George. He was with us quite a wee while. I thought that Kenny Miller had an outstanding game for us. Scored a fantastic goal. The ball was guided onto his head by 2 pigeons, I think it was. Just amazing. Just brilliant stuff.
94 games he played for us, Neil Alexander. Over a 6-year period.
6 years, is that how long he was at Rangers? I wouldn't have said that, by the way, if you asked me that question. I wouldn't have honestly said that.
Just watching Miller's goal here on the lobby. Oh, some header. A cracker.
Oh, let me see if we can get that on. Have we got the commentary, Fox?
No, it's all school. It's stealing, mate, in the background, mate.
You need to slow it down so we can see the pigeon.
Walter's gone mad.
It was Naismith that broke, wasn't it? And put the ball in.
Aye.
Here's one for you guys. Talking about him, for me, Naismith was a fabulous player for us. In hindsight, I know he got injured there. Forget the injury. The way he started the season and that for Hearts. Do you think he would have been a good acquisition for this season? Playing in that number 10 role. I think he would have done us a job. Aye, without a doubt.
Wouldn't have been a popular pick by Blue Star. A lot of the fans held a lot against him, you know.
I'm only talking about his overall game performance. I think he could have knitted a lot of us together. I really do. Especially players that Stevie had just brought in that really didn't know Scottish football. I think Naismith would have been a good acquisition. I really do. No, like playing behind Alfredo and that. I think he would have done us a good job. But I know, I get your point. I know a lot.
I think the problem with Stephen Naismith is the support really took to him. He was really popular with the support, and they feel a wee bit let down for him. I think he was badly advised with the press conference, and I don't think that. I think some of the words were misconstrued, but he'll never be forgiven for what he said. It was naive.
Oh, of course it was.
If he did life to lead out again, he would never do it, you know.
No. Playing wise, Ox, honestly, I thought he was a great player for us.
Points. There you go.
He was a great player for us. He was.
What do you think, George? Naismith in the squad, maybe 6 more points.
Oh, can I comment on that? Or rather, not comment on that? Just to say that.
Yeah, Richmond.
Go on then, George. Go on.
Oh, sorry, Rich, went back on the mute when I had you talking. Sorry about that. No, Ox, I would have liked to have, and it's easy to say now the amount of goals he scored at the start of the season, Ox, but and I ken what everybody's feeling is towards being Naismith, and I'm not actually in the lobby, then we're probably going to meet in the lobby about it, but if Naismith came into us, Ox, and started scoring goals, all would be forgotten. A few words that he says was said, I'll advise, let's be honest about it, and I think if he had come in here, Ox, and started scoring goals for us, nobody would bother, but the words, we'd be singing his name again and that, and I'm a Blue Star. If we could have got him at the start of the season, I think it would have been a different season for us all together. Ox,
I do as well, George, definitely. I really do. I know it's in hindsight, guys, but if you take the way that he brings other players into the game, and as I say, I've seen that for the difference for Alfredo this season. He's brought in the likes of Kent and Kandea some 10 times. Naismith would have been doing that continuously, running for midfield all the games. I think he would have got us quite a few points more. I really do. But again,
I don't think I wouldn't have him. It's only my opinion for what he said and the way he said it. I don't disagree that he's a good player, but I also don't think he would last in the way the teams play against us. I think he would end up the same as the rest of our midfield now, nonplussed, wouldn't know what to do, running up against 4 men, blocked, you name it, and he would get himself sent off quite a lot. That's my opinion. There's a different team set and mindset of the managers that when they play against Rangers, particularly Ibrox, it's basically like a 10-man defence, and most even good players, it's very difficult to get past them. Very difficult, particularly the way they play against you. The blocking that goes on is incredible, and the barging. So I don't think I don't think Naismith would do any better than the ones that we've got, to be honest. But go back to what we're saying about what he said and how he said it. That's the way I would look at it. I wouldn't want him back.
I don't think you'd be alone in the views, but somebody's going to divide the support. But we've been hypothetical here, and there you go. I'll say that we did. Would I have signed them? I don't think I would have done. If we did have signed them, I think we did 6 more points. There you go, George.
I am totally all the way with that. I can see what Bridgman's saying 100%, and I mean there's 2 and 2 when he's saying they wouldn't sign him, they would have signed him, but he was scoring some amount of goals for Hertz at the start of the season. So I think if we had, I like to say it's hypothetical, but if we had got him, I don't think he would have been a guy to take us that next level, Bridge, but it would certainly helped the guys out that we've got now. Wee Alfredo, he would have helped our midfielders out, would have helped our strikers out, and he might have just been the guy. We're talking hypothetically. He might have just been the guy for a lot of our players to actually look up to, like our centre halves and our defenders, not look up to Big McGregor. I think they would have maybe looked up to him just the same, and I think he would have got a few goals. And like Oxy's saying, even if it's another 6 or 7 or 8 points on top of what we've got the new goals that are games that are maybe 1 eaches and that's 1-0, we've been beat. Maybe he turn them into 1-0s and 2-1s and things like that. I think it'd been all the difference, and I would have accepted if he scored goals. Look, anybody that comes in and scores goals for Rangers, I would accept them. But I think it'd been I think it would have been a good signing for Rangers.
One of the best games I've ever saw him playing for Rangers. To be honest, I never saw it with my own eyes. I saw it in the sort of rerun in the telly because I was working that day. Was when we played Kilmarnock at Kilmarnock and down there we beat them 4-0 or something like that. Big Lafferty scored 4 goals, 5-0 and Lafferty scored 4. Just unbelievable stuff. I thought Naismith was completely outstanding that day. Absolutely fabulous player.
Anyway, it's just a wee bit of fun there. We'll never be able to answer it, but it's funny. Looking back at that team, we looked at the League Cup final, there wasn't a lot of flair in that team, was there really?
No, they were kind of... There wasn't really MD in it that you would have said was an outstanding player, Ox. I think you're right. It was merely a team, you know. It wasn't really individuals as such.
Stephen Davis, a football player. I mean, obviously Novo working hard the wings, Miller and Boyd up front. It's Kevin Thompson and McCulloch sitting. Papac wouldn't get forward that much, but Whittaker would a bit. But 9 men, cup final, 1-0, unbelievable.
Star. Absolutely brilliant, by the way. 5-star performance. Every one of them.
We were talking earlier on about Steve Davis. I mean, I think Steve Davis, he was one of the guys that could split a defence back there, Ox. You were saying that, again, they weren't the most skillful team in the world. We Novo done his bit out in the wings and up front, wherever he was playing on whatever given day. And who would be on the other side that day? So Novo one side, probably Muller and Boyd up front. Even when, for example, when Edu came on, Edu wasn't the greatest player in the world, but he was an athlete, Ox. You always got that good bit of determination out of him. So, like, you probably are right. They weren't the greatest skillful team in the world, but no many teams would take the empty cleaner, Ox, and that's the difference with that team.
You got a caller on the phone, Ox.
Evening, caller.
Hi, Ox. It's Albert.
Albert, we thought it might have been past your bedtime 2 nights in a row.
I know. Well, I was eating my rolling chips and having my beer, watching the telly and listening to you guys. It was good.
All right, rolling chips.
Enjoy it then.
What? Lovely magic.
Just a bit of salt and vinegar on the chips. Did you go for sauce?
Salt and vinegar. Oh, salt. I don't know that Edinburgh nonsense. Come on, Dave.
Nice one, Albert. Oh, nice one,
red sauce.
What's that?
I meant red sauce. That'll be Rudy away making the rolling chips now. What's on your mind, Albert?
Well, you're just talking about that team there that won that cup final 1-0. I mean, you can bring that into this team, the new. If we had that defence, the new, would have won the league. No doubt about it. Would have won the league because they were brilliant at just shutting out teams. Shutting out teams, that was their game. They were brilliant at it.
They were good defenders, weren't they?
Oh,
they
were
good defenders. Yeah.
And we're all talking about what we need and what we don't. What we need is a defence to play like that. And when that game's 1-0, and the knowledge, you know, you're solid at the back. At the moment, we're scoring the goal, or we lose the goal more likely, but we score the goal. We know the defence. We must sit there and go, oh, they're going to lose a goal, aren't they? You just feel it, they're going to lose a goal.
Yeah.
Hard to argue with that, George.
Just give a wee minute, sorry.
Blue Star.
Do you think that's down to simply the expansive kind of football that Stevie G wants us to play? He's more interested in the likes of the fullbacks going forward rather than defending. I mean, it's hard if you're looking at that. If we're looking at the point of view that we want our fullbacks to get forward whenever they can, but first and foremost to defend. If you're talking about quality, to get a defender that can do that, properly defend and run forward up the wings, you're talking about a lot of money nowadays. You know what I mean? To get that calibre.
I think you're bang on, man. I think it's the way we're playing football. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I don't know how you feel. I would rather have a solid defence than this expansive crap we're playing now, because we're wide open. We're just wide open all the time, and bang average teams can score against us. Yeah. So in Europe, it works a wee bit better, as we said last night and pointed out last night. But in the domestic game, no, it doesn't work at all. You need to put a system in there. If we don't lose a goal, we've got all the time in the world to score a goal.
Yeah.
I know it's no brilliant, nice in the eye football, but see this tippy-tappy with 500 passes and went absolutely nowhere. I mean, you're sitting bored watching it, you're going, oh, good grief, for a shot, do something. Well, I'm not going to get into that because we were ready last night, but you know what I'm saying.
I have to say, I don't think our defence is so poor for the amount of goals that they give away. It's the type of goal they give away. It's just absolutely piss poor. Really, really bad. The goals are shockingly easy for the opposition to score. We just don't know where we are. We're all at sea, and all of a sudden the ball goes in the net. But generally, for most of the games we play, unless we completely fall into it, we don't give a lot of goals away. And teams either score really, really poor goals for us or worldies, smash the ball from outside the box into the top corner or something like that, But I just want somebody to come in that's far better than anything that we've got just now. And you bring one of them, to me, bring a centre-half in that's better than anything we've got, and he should be able to lift everybody else up. And I thought we were going to get with Macaulay. I thought Macaulay was going to come in and bring the other two guys, Katic and Golson, bring their confidence up and make them able to play football the way we want to play football. But Macaulay, unfortunately, can't do that.
To be fair to them, see the centre-halves we've had for the last 3 years, to be fair to them all, including Golson, I was getting it tight to Golson, but to be fair to the big guy, that Rangers team in the last 3 years have not played with any fullbacks. The two centre-halves are exposed all the time. There isn't any fullbacks. They're wing-backs and they fly up and down that wing. But the poor centre-halves are left there a lot of the time, exposed. And you're sitting saying, that's all great and dandy and fine if you're scoring 4 goals, 3-4 goals and slaughtering teams, that's great. But if it's a 1-0, and a lot of the games in Scotland are 1-0, 2-1s, you know what I mean? You've got to have a solid defence, and we've just no go to it. We're never going to get it. Because what Blue Star says, we change the style of football and incorporate 2 decent defensive fullbacks to back up our centre-halves.
Bridges Brief used to say that every Monday morning, you need a solid defence, young man. all the great teams in history show you they've all had great defence. Even the so-called, the 70s Brazilian national team, they had a brilliant defence. Everybody forgets about it. They all talk about the forward players, and rightly so, but they had a brilliant defence.
They did indeed. They did. Most great teams have got a great defence. They don't give away that many goals. And if you don't give many goals away, you've got a better chance, obviously. I'm preaching to converted here. If you don't give away goals, you have a better chance of score. If you get a goal, you'll maybe win the game. And that's what Rangers need to do.
Winning the game, Bridge. That's what I mean. Better chance of winning the game if you get a solid defence.
Yes, indeed. Indeed, pal.
It also gives you, see, like here we're talking about who do we bring in quality players. It also gives the quality players a chance to shine further up the park, knowing fine well that they don't need to keep rocketing the other way, back, running towards their end goal, defending when they've got a solid defence back there.
Yeah.
See, the amount of times we'll see the likes of Jack or whoever's playing centre of midfield, Kamara, how many times have we seen them when you see them on the ball and they've maybe got a few yards in front of them and they don't even attempt to go forward with the ball at their feet? They actually turn and pass the ball back to the centre halves. I don't want to see that, guys. I maintain our midfield, when they get the ball Their job's to get the ball forward, to make the passes through to whatever forwards we've got or we're wingers. And a lot of the time that's not happening. The ball goes backwards. How many times there in the last 3 and 4 games have we seen our centre-halves with the ball at their feet? They've had more of the ball than what our forwards have had. That's not on. That's different if you're up against a European team that's far better than you and that they're on the attack and you're having to defend. But that's not been the case with us in our own league. We should be the team dominating, and yet we're passing the ball square to Goldson, to Worrell, to Katic, and you're saying to yourself, get the ball further up the park.
It's simple, mate. If you're the opposition, and me and Albert are coaching the opposition, we're saying you let the two have the ball.
Aye.
And then basically we've got 10 against 8.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Simple as that, Albert, isn't it?
See, another thing I don't know how to use it. The way I judge it, see when I'm sitting at the game, the way I judge it, see the first pass of the game between the two centre-halves. Now, I know you hate it, Blue, and I hate it as well. But the first pass between the two, see the speed of the pass? You ever notice that determines the speed of that half, the half you're playing? See if it's a slow, they see they trundle about each other for the very first passes.
So do they, all the time.
You just know it's going to be one of the long, boring halves going, come on, speed this up a bit.
Yeah.
But if they ping the first pass, the first couple of passes to each other, you know they take the pace of the games. Oh, we're up for this now, where the pace is we're going to lift this. But I'm sick of watching that. They said two centre-halves playing football with a ball. You're going, just give them a ball and tell them to go behind the net and play. Let's go on with the game.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I'm definitely, aye.
I agree with you. Bridgman, centre-half should never have the ball, eh?
Well, if you watch our centre halves, obviously as you've done many, many times, but if you watch our centre halves, you'll see that if they get the ball if they've got the ball with them too long, they actually don't know what to do with it. And sometimes you end up seeing them running down this sort of inside left or inside right channel, and they go 20, 30 yards into the opposition half, and you just know they're going to fall over the ball. You just know it, or they're going to launch it miles over the bar or something stupid like that. And they end up giving away possession. And all that is because they don't stay. If they stayed closer to the halfway line and give it to a midfielder who's a far better player at football, a far better footballer, far more skillful. And I don't mean any Partick midfielders, by the way, Oxter. But midfielders are generally far better players than centre halves from a skill perspective. So let's give it to them.
Anyway, lads, it's that time of the night. Get yourself on mute.
And did you go to see the show? Each rose in Piccadilly, oh, to feast your eyes and view the prize won by the orange lily, oh. Then hey ho, the lily, oh, the royal lily, oh. Beneath the skies no flower can buy with Erin's orange lily, oh. The Viceroy there, so debonair, just like a daffodilly, oh. With Lady Clark, blithe as a lark, approach the orange lily, oh. Then hey ho, the lily, oh, the royal lily, oh. Beneath the skies no flower can buy with Erin's orange lily, oh. Let Danby's fine in Bond Street shine, gay nymphs in Piccadilly, oh. But fine or gay must yield the day to Erin's orange lily, oh. Then hey ho, the lily, oh, the royal lily, oh. Beneath the sky no flower can
Well, gentlemen, we're back.
Yep. I have to say, guys, I didn't enjoy that. That was like one of the worst karaoke singers I've ever heard. That was cruel.
Barry Gers, turn the dance floor up to. Turn the dance floor up. Brilliant.
No, that was the wee guy I put on there.
Old School Blues daughter sang that. Especially recorded for the show.
Poor her.
You've got to be careful, Blue Star.
Shocking.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was brutal.
Oh, you're actually finished, by the way. See that rise you were getting? Gone.
You need to move into that seat, old Bert.
Old School saying it was her birthday tomorrow as well. And you're saying that? That's shocking.
You're saying that about
her? Blue Star, very popular. Oh dear.
You with us, old Bear?
I'm back with you.
You're very quiet, mate.
I was just picking up the play. I meant to say before the tune there is, did any of you see the Warburton interview with that Cy guy on YouTube?
I haven't watched it, mate.
Cy Ferry?
Aye. Anyway, I'm not saying it's interesting, but one bit came out of that was that he's talking about Clint Hill. Bridge was talking about Clint Hill. And Clint Hill says to him after his first Rangers game at Ibrox, he walked in and he says to him, he says, it turned out he touched the ball 60 or 70 times in that game. He means, I played the ball more times in that game than all the years I played, combined all the years I played at QPR. In one game, he touched the ball more times, I reckon, in any particular game. He says, in there, it's all kicking and heading, that's what QPR wanted him to do. But he come up here and we try to get him to play football. And you're sitting going, that tells you everything you want to know. I don't want my centre-half to touch the ball 60 and 80 times. I want my centre-forward to touch the ball 60 or 80 times. And my creative midfielders and my wingers. I don't want my full-backs.
Bridget played in the season. 1 year, he touched the ball 3 times.
Don't listen to him, by the way. It's all lies. It's all perfect lies.
He always cleared these lines. Sometimes it was man first.
Well, I have to say, I must be very honest, and most guys that have played football know the very first thing a defender has got to do is to learn to do is clear your lines, particularly free kicks and corners, clean your lines. And if you do that, you're halfway forward to being successful in that sense.
I'm going to say as well, don't talk about corners. We are absolutely stinking.
Dreadful. We go halfway between zonal marking and man marking, and to combat man marking, you see them all crowding out just at the edge of the box. And I remember way back, the Celtic did that. Where Big Billy McNeil used to stand way outside the box, 2 or 3 of them, and then they would all run in when they were always coming in. And McNeil was very successful, scored a lot of goals, corner kicks and free kicks. That's just, they're doing it now, only they're doing it slightly different.
Alex Ferguson got kicked out of Rangers because he didn't pick McNeil up at a corner kick in the League Cup.
Absolutely, I'm trying to say that, and I was at that game and I couldn't believe it. But Alex Ferguson was there and Billy McNeil scored.
He won his last. That was his last game for Rangers, Ferguson.
It was indeed, pal.
See, you're talking about corners there, all blue. I've got 2 E's mixed up. All Bear. All Blue Star, sorry. All blue. I was talking about that Old School Blues daughters looking for you, mate. I don't like Kent taking the corners with his rank fit.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it's a great skill, and I don't think his set pieces are that good that he should be doing that.
I'll tell you better, by the way. I turned to the guy next to me one day and I said, see these corner kicks? You know what we're better being at these corner kicks? So put the ball down in a wee circle at the corner flag and kick it out for a bye kick and everybody staying in their positions. We're more dangerous if we all stay in our positions than cross it into that box because we're doing nothing when that goes in. In fact, sometimes we get ourselves into a pickle that the opposition break away. So I'm saying, just give them the bye kick it out for a bye. There you are, you've got the ball back. Well, we'll go back into their position. That's how bad at corner kicks I think we are.
I have to say there are sometimes as well just doing that. We sometimes overhit the corner kick by immense distance, and sometimes we don't even get it. It just swerves right in for a goal kick, or it goes straight to the goalkeeper. We really need to do better. We need to do better.
It's strange, I know. It seems like we're defending a corner kick. The opposition always seem to get it to one of the players. Always. And you're going, how can they do it and we still think the squad we're going to go in the main is a decent squad. It's a good platform to go and get the quality players now and make it even better.
We've been lucky over the years as well. We say how lucky we've been with midfielders and things like that and goalkeepers, but when you actually think about it, our centre halves over the years when Big Eck came in, our Rangers teams were getting bullied after that lot over there, and it's just a simple signing to bring in big Marvin Andrews for Livingston and didn't really miss many headers. And then when Walter came back in, he brought in, obviously Paul Le Glen brought in a couple of French guys and paid a bit of money for them and tried to play big Papac at a centre half and Svensson and things like that. But gone past that and coming into when Walter Smith came back in, he brought Davy Weir in, Big Echiog, and just shored up the defence again. We've always been really lucky with our centre halves. And then when Warburton came in and they brought in Clint Hull, I mean, Clint Hull was that age again. I thought we were going to bring in Macaulay this year and it would do the same job, but big Clint Hull never really put a fit rank for us. I think you could have actually went for an extra year. We've been lucky with our centre halves. Obviously you go back, Big Goff and Nama Russo and Craig Moore, we've been really lucky with centre halves over the years, Rocks.
I think you're right. I agree. I'd love to have seen Clint Hill getting another year for us. I thought he was pretty good. Don't get me wrong.
Sorry, cut through. We've been
no problem,
boys. Evening, boys.
Good evening, boys. How are you? Boys, well.
How are we doing, mate? I'm glad you have joined us, mate. You might be able to help with the next thing, but you go first and get what's on your mind off it.
No, I just want to have a laugh at Scotland and and sorry, the Celtic and Aberdeen select. Dear me, what an absolute abortion that is. But no, I'm just listening to your conversations here about centre halves, and I think the same could be said of our goalkeeping choices, because goalkeepers and centre halves, we've always been really lucky with. Our goalkeepers have been just stalwarts. You go back to Peter McFloy, through Nicky Walker, then on to Chris Woods, Jim Stewart, just with some great goalkeepers.
Struggle with arguing that, boys. Even up to the modern era, we're still.
Oh, I mean, I think we've got a great keeper. I mean,
McGregor's very consistent. I just want to take you back, boys, and I know it's not quite your era. Am I going to start with it? Bridges got a pen and a paper.
Can I come in first, mate? Right. Oswald, could you drop out and bring yourself back in? Your line's a wee bit dodgy at the moment.
Oh, sorry, mate. Okay.
Well, be right, Wizard. We're going to go back between us, George. I know you're a wee bit young, but you'll know a lot of the names. We're going to build a team for the 60s. We'll debate it. We'll pick the positions. How are we lining up, Bridge? You're the manager.
Yeah, me.
Is that better?
Yes, 100% better, mate.
A wee bit up the volume, boys. You'll be spot on.
That should be a bit better, I think.
Yes, boys. That's you.
I'm on the iPad tonight, so.
All right, mate. We're going to go back to the 60s, boys. We're going to build a team of players that played in the 60s for Rangers.
All right. Well, I started watching Rangers in the 60s.
Well, democratically, we'll try and build a team and see what we come up with. And maybe as the night's going and there's no football, we'll try and build one for the 70s. So obviously, there's people cross decades, but it's all about opinions. How are we lining up, Mr. Manager, Mr. Bridgeman? What's the formation? Oh, he's doing his own mute, George.
Well, back then, I think it was 2-3-5.
2-3-5, wasn't it? Yeah, 2-3-5.
Yeah, and you would have Richie Shearer called out.
Oh, wait a minute.
Regan McKinnon and Baxter.
That's it.
We know them off behind, don't we?
Absolutely, John.
But we have to try and see if that's what everybody thinks. Right, so...
of course, pal, of course. So
we're running up with a 2-3-5. Is everybody happy with that?
Yes, absolutely.
George, what would you make of that? 2-3-5.
Unbelievable. I've heard you talking about it before, Ox, like you can. I was born in the 80s, so I know absolutely nothing about this, but I'll be interested to listen to how you line up and how these teams. I'll ask you this question about.
Maybe that's the way we should be lining up at Ibrox now at home games.
I would think so. Yeah, I think that's reasonable.
And just even saying it out loud, 2-3-5 just doesn't even sound right at all. And you said all different names for it as well: wing back and half back, whatever it was. I didn't even know what you called it. Like it's just
inside, right. Forward, and outside. Left,
full back,
yeah,
half back, and forwards.
That's right.
Right, okay, we'll start with the usual position, goalkeeper. For me, there's maybe two choices, but somebody might have other people later on in the decade. I think we're between Niven and Richie, Bridgeman, and then Blue Star.
I would go for Richie. For me, he was a lot, shall we say, a lot more physical. In those days, the goalkeeper had to be physical. It was part of it. He was allowed to shoulder charge the keeper and all that nonsense then. So I would go for Richie. And he was not saying Niven wasn't a good goalkeeper. He was a tremendous goalkeeper. But I would go for Richie in the 60s. Unless, of course, what do you call him, the Girvan Lighthouse came in the late 60s or something like that, because he was a good goalkeeper too. But for me, the 60s, Billy Ritchie.
Blue Star?
To be perfectly honest, I don't know. Between the two, I never seen enough of them. Going with my old man and that told me, he said to me that he never really rated the two goalkeepers. I don't know, guys. I never seen enough of them. I was only just getting born then.
He's lying about his age.
No, I was born in the 60s.
You've seen your picture, mate. You're lying about your age.
I swear, isn't it? Later on in the 60s, aye, but no earlies.
What about Sorensen? He came in.
Eric Sorensen.
That was the late 60s, yeah. That was the late 60s.
Norrie Martin.
Jerry Neef.
Aye. I remember that Sorensen. Do you remember that clown? Remember the last game of the season with that clown against Aberdeen at Ibrox? We went through the whole season. I think we went through the whole season undefeated. In the last game of the season, he slipped and lost a goal and we get beat 3-2. Joe Harper scored. If that's the same goalkeeper, if I got that right.
Go get Morton or something like that.
Right, so he's not getting in a team all player.
No, he's not getting. He caused. I get that night, I remember. No, he's not getting on it.
All right, it's time for you to get him back. Who's the goalkeeper then, Fox? Who are we going for? Come on, you're the casting vote.
We'll go for Richie.
Richie. All right. Bridge, you got that done?
I've got it done here, pal.
Right, okay. So we're moving into our two centre, full-backs,
Mm-hmm.
Who are you going for, Fox?
Two full-backs that I remember at that time would be probably Willie Matheson.
Late 60s, aye.
Yeah, late 60s, Willie Matheson. Well, kind of mid to late.
I've seen him. Yeah, late 60s.
Jordan would just be starting his doing about
66,
then as well.
66.
Aye.
Yeah. What about the late, great Eric Caldo?
Yep. Oh, aye.
No, I can't go past. I have to say to you guys,
Bobby Shearer.
I thought Bobby Shearer, and I would be, if you wanted me to go for a wee bit more further, I think that Kai Johansson was a fantastic fullback for us. And so I would probably go for, because he was more modern than Bobby Shearer. Shearer was outstanding fullback, and he was part of the team. But out of the 60s, Kai Johansson was probably the more skillful of the two fullbacks.
He was a footballer, Rich.
Absolutely. And he would have matched in well with Caldo at left back.
My choice of the players who played in the 60s, on the left would be Eric Caldo, and on the right would be Sandy Jardine.
Bobby Shearer for me. Bobby Shearer, I think I ended Bobby Shearer was no messing, clean it out, get it finished.
I think David Proven would be about then and all, boys.
Actually, correct. Proven and Kai Johansson were probably the most successful fullback pair for many a long time for Rangers after the success of Shearer and Caldo. I think Johansson and Proven were very successful. But I can't go past Eric Caldo, I must admit, at left back. I think he was just wonderful. And I agree with what Oxy's saying about Sandy Jardine, but I think Sandy Jardine was quite late into the 60s when he took up the right back slot.
Eric Caldo actually worked with my dad.
Is that right?
He worked with my dad as a salesman, yeah.
Marvellous. So did you meet him a couple of times?
I met him, but it's the usual. When I met Jim Baxter, completely frozen by fear and awe, and so you end up as this little boy not able to say anything to these people.
The Sandy Jardine came into the team in '66. Albert, what's your thinking? Two fullbacks, but you'll get a casted vote.
Shearer and Caldo.
You're a bit quiet, mate. You turn your sound up.
Shearer and Caldo, mate.
Shearer and Caldo. Bridgeman?
Yeah, I wouldn't be far away from that. Shearer Caldo or Johansson Caldo, one of the two.
Mm-hmm. All right, fair enough. All right, so we're moving into the
halfbacks.
Halfbacks, right. 3 halfbacks, huh? Well, 2. Who's your stick-ons there? Albert. Baxter. Got to get it, innit? Who else?
Greg.
Yep.
Not sure of the third one.
Ronnie McKinnon.
Not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. I can't bring anybody. McKinnon's in my head, but I can't bring anybody else forward.
Mm-hmm. What's your thinking, then, boys?
I would go Baxter, Greg, and McKinnon. Baxter was just majestic. I mean, Bridge will tell you. I mean, how many times we had Bridge at it here? But it's the same with John Gregg, the greatest ever Ranger. He's got to be in that team. Anybody else takes that position, John Gregg's going to kill them, isn't he? And Ronnie McKinnon are just an international and just a fantastic player, Ronnie McKinnon.
Sorry, guy. What's a halfback? Is that a centre half, boys?
Well, it's midfield, basically. It's midfield.
It's kind of defensive midfield type players.
That's what we... McDonald, Alec McDonald, was he one of them as well, was he?
No, inside forward.
More attacking type player, George.
What about Dave Smith, guys?
Dave Smith, Fox.
Fox, yeah.
I think I would have to go Greg McKinnon, Baxter. They were the most talented and successful members of the defence.
I can see what's happening here, Bridge. Richie Shearer, Caldo.
Well, that's I'm just. Well, forgive me.
It's an iconic team, isn't it? It's hard to get away from that team.
You're absolutely right.
It wasn't until the late 60s. It wasn't until the late 60s that these other guys came in. And big Colin Jackson was a fantastic centre half for us. And people like that, just great. And before McKinnon, you had Patterson,
and of course Harold Davis as well.
Harold Davis, of course, fantastic. These were great players. But Greg McKinnon and Baxter for me in the 60s. That was my 60s. I loved it.
It's kind of synonymous with Rangers in that team of the 60s, isn't it, Bridge? It's like the Iron
Iconic.
Curtain team. It's the Iron Curtain team.
You've got to remember, guys. That team is one of the best, if not the best Rangers team it's ever been.
Probably.
In my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion as well.
Of course.
It's a fantastic team. There was no getting away from it.
Oh, yeah.
And if I'm right, did they get to the European finals, 2 European finals as well?
They got to the European final 67.
And 61 was a different team. Yeah.
No, but they got to the European Cup, the Cup Winners' Cup final, and then 67.
Different team, mate.
Yeah. And then was it 1962 we were beaten in the semi-final?
That's right, yeah.
1960 for the European Cup. We were beaten in the semi-final by Eintracht Frankfurt.
That was a close tie or 2 legs.
Yeah.
Close tie.
It was extremely close.
I remember John Gregg and
right, lads, one at a time.
Sorry, boys. Sorry.
The year Baxter broke his leg, we should have won that European Cup that year.
Yeah, if he hadn't broke his leg, we probably could have as well, truth be told.
You want to tell that story for some of the younger players out there that might be listening? What happened, Baxter?
I'm not sure of the details, but I think it was in Vienna, wasn't it? Was it Rapid Vienna? I think they played. And he beat the guy. He gets the ball on the left-hand side midfield. He beats the guy, nutmegs the guy, and then he went back to do it again, and the guy gave it to him.
And the game was done.
And the game was done. We'd won it. The game was done. At the end of the day, you sit and go like that, and it still rankles to this day because we would have won the European Cup that year. I'm convinced of it.
Typical Jim Baxter, though, isn't it?
I must say as well, guys, I think that leg break had an impact on the rest of Baxter's career. I do really do. I think he was starting a bit weary after that,
He said that himself, Bridgeman. I met him many a time. He did say the leg break. He was never the same after that.
Yeah. Well, what a star.
Greg McKinnon Baxter, right? Is that anybody get any Fox Unity come in here? I know Dave Smith came in the later part of the decade, but he was your man.
I love Dave Smith. You brought a smile back in my face when you mentioned Dave Smith. What a player. Brilliant.
You there, Fox?
I would keep Dave Smith to the 70s, mate. If you were doing a 70s team. But Ronnie McKinnon, I don't think we realised how good a player he was, mate. He could play anywhere, Ronnie McKinnon. Very, very quick air the ground. Strong in the tackle, good distribution. I liked Ronnie McKinnon very much, mate.
Foxy was the fastest player at Ibrox until Willie Johnson came in. Fastest player.
We got him for junior football, didn't we?
Indeed we did.
Aye, I think we did, aye. There were loads of good players about at that time. You're forgetting Alec Muller had a good time during that sort of era, around about the mid-60s, aye. 60s. But you'll be moving on, so...
Right, so that's what now it's going to get interesting. We've got the sort of front 5, 2 wingers, 2 inside men, centre forward. It's really going to be interesting because some people might have to leave their heroes. So we'll go to... Boswell, get your thoughts. What would your 2 wingers be? Who would they be? There's a lot to pick for.
Oh, wingers, Davy Wilson.
I think his record's unbelievable, mate.
Davy Wilson's just astonishing. I met Davy Wilson. He was a friend of my mum and dad's. He's related to them. And he was on Football Focus in the 80s when he was the manager of Dumbarton. And he said Dumbarton realistically are looking to be in Europe. And of course I busted laughing on my way to the football. And I met him at a party that night and I said, so you think Dumbarton will be in Europe? He went, aye. I said, well, right enough, there's a war everywhere in the world, isn't there? It's just unbelievable. But he was a phenomenal player. And on the other wing, Willie Henderson's got to be in it.
Well, be interested to see what other people think with Willie Johnson, you know.
Well, Willie Johnson, yeah. I mean, it's aren't we just so fortunate, blessed with so many fantastic players? But I think Willie Johnson came into his own in the 70s as opposed to the 60s. So for me, it would be Willie Henderson and Davy Wilson as a cert for me, but Willie Henderson definitely.
Older.
Oh, yeah, it's Wilson and Henderson for me as well. I don't see by them. I think Willie Johnson, you're right, in the 70s, definitely in the 70s. He's definitely getting into my team in the 70s, but 60s is definitely Wilson and Henderson. I mean, George Best's father turned and said to George Best when he was a boy, allegedly, if you want to learn how to play wing play, just go up to Glasgow Rangers and watch Willie Henderson. He's the best winger in the world. And he was at that time. He was the best winger in the world. They're all going about Jinky Johnson and how great he was. To my mind, he wasn't as direct and as effective as wee Willie. Willie was superb.
Well, there's a strange one for you guys, and I've spoke to him many a time. What do you call him? Bobby Lennox, his honest opinion is Henderson was a more dangerous player than what Willie Johnson was. Jimmy Johnson. He says Johnson had the ability to beat any player, he says, but he wanted to go back and beat them again. He says, no for the good of the team, he says, but he says, I think it was more dangerous, he says, in the Celtic teams, he says, than what Jinky was. He said, because he was more for beating players, he says, but he wouldn't go and cross the ball, he says, whenever we were on the attack, he says, the way other players would. He says, Willie Henderson, he says, was far more dangerous.
He was he also picked for a World 11, Willie Henderson at one time?
Absolutely, him and Jim Baxter. Twice, by the way. Yeah.
It's keeping Jimmy Johnson.
The only Scottish players ever did it twice. Sorry, guys.
Don't be sorry, pal, you're right.
On you go, Albert.
The two of them twice get picked for World 11. Twice. Excellent players, excellent. I mean, at that time, again, the Rangers don't give it credit, but it's something similar to now, but they truly were world-class players. I mean, Baxter, even Pelly turned around and says Baxter was one of, if not the best player in the world of his generation. Excellent player. I don't want to have on about that.
Sorry, Oxford, can I just come in and say, for me, Henderson and Wilson are the wingers?
Henderson and Wilson, what about you, Fox?
For me.
You got against
no, some of them span into the 70s, so I can't go ahead against Wilson and Henderson myself. But one as a boy, mate, that I used to love that maybe many people would remember was Orjan Persson.
Big Orange Persson.
He was the first guy I ever seen scalp the ball with his outside his foot, mate. I mean, and he used to bend balls for the win,
He used to score for corner kicks.
That's right, he was a terrific. I loved him when I was a young boy.
You want to explain when he came from Fox and that for some of the younger players that's listening?
I think we got him for Dundee United, mate, if I remember back then. He was a Swedish player,
Scandinavian invasion, as he called it at the time.
I can't remember what we paid for him, but it wouldn't be much back then, you know. But he was something different that we hadn't seen for me, you know. And there was other players apart from him in the 60s, mate, but I always liked him as a boy, you know.
Yeah,
he's the first player I've seen scoring for the halfway line at Ibrox.
Oh, he scored incredible goals, didn't he? Albert, didn't he?
Oh,
incredible.
Albert, what about Alex Scott not getting in this team?
I know. You're going to get into that dilemma. Can't leave him out. We can't leave him out. Can we not make it 22?
I think when Willie Henderson came in, he was only a youngster, and he came in and he swept everyone before him to get into the Rangers team. He was wonderful. I'm afraid Alex Scott was probably a victim of Willie Henderson's success, and it wasn't long after that he went away to Everton. Yeah, I agree with you. He was a good winger, but I don't think he was anywhere near as good as Henderson.
We had an Alex Scott.
Only a youngster.
We had an Alex Scott in the 70s, but he wasn't the same player as the one.
Wasn't the same player?
That was
Ali Scott.
That's the blonde guy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the blonde guy. That's right. Yeah. I think his hairline started.
That's loosely there.
Yeah, I think his
hairline
started at his neck.
Aye, same haircut as Bobby Charlton, didn't he?
That's right. Yeah.
Bobby
He couldn't score in a brothel, that one, couldn't he?
No, I remember him scoring against Montrose at Ibrox in the League Cup sections game in 1973. So,
right, so we're going for Willie Henderson and Davy Wilson. Hard to argue with that. Right, so we're now moving into inside men and centre forward. Fox,
Prime Minister.
go first. I'll let
Sorry,
Well, my striker would be Jim Forrest, mate. I still think I don't think he is in the Hall of Fame, is he yet?
Be, mate. Unbelievable record.
Unbelievable goal scorer.
All right, so you're leaving out Colin Stein. I'll remember that next time.
No, I'll say 70s for him as well, mate.
Oh, well, you're saying that he wasn't good enough when he signed for us in 69. He got in a team. I'll let Colin know.
But he hadn't established himself as much as Jim Forrest had, mate. I mean, he joined us and had an explosive start to his career at Ibrox, but when you're talking goals per games, mate, there's no another Rangers players could match him.
Well, put up Fox what Jim Forrest's record is.
Aye, if you've got it, aye.
I've got it here, mate. Carry on, mate, and I'll give you Jim Forrest's record.
Well, he would definitely be my striker, but I'll let the other boys get a pick because there's loads of good inside men that you remember from back there, mate, you know.
Jim Forrest signed for Drumchapel Amateurs. Must have been
correct.
Yep.
That was a well-worn path, that one, wasn't it, Bridge?
166 games played. 146 goals with only 2 penalties.
How do you argue with that? Especially back then when defenders were much more ruthless than they are now.
And the pitches, the ball, the boots, everything.
The ball, the boots. Yeah,
paid the price for Berwick Rangers, that was it, you know.
Can you read these stats again, Oxdear, please?
Oh, you call me a liar?
No, I didn't hear it right, mate.
166 games. Yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No subs, obviously there was no subs. 146 goals, which only 2 were penalties. No yellow, no red cards.
Unbelievable.
He debuted against Falkirk as an 18-year-old, and his first goal was against Celtic in a 3-0 away win. Aged 18 years and 322 days.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Wouldn't happen now.
No.
We'd lost him at 18 now.
Yeah, well, he'd been lost before then.
All right, so Fox has gone for Jim Forrest. Great shout, but obviously you've got Ralph Brand, Jimmy Miller, Colin Stein.
Brand was an inside forward.
Right.
I would go for Colin Stein because that's my era, but I would tend to agree with some of the boys and say that for me, Colin Stein's more of the 70s.
I would agree with that.
Although
Colin Stein's my hero as well, by the way. And, I'll put him in the 70s.
You can put him in 2 decades if you think he's that good.
No, I'll put him in the 70s. I wouldn't take Jim Forrest out of there, or Ralph Brand for that matter.
But, yeah. Jimmy Miller.
Forrest, Brand and Miller, yeah.
Miller, Brand and Wilson.
So we'll get Jim Forrest. Anybody else against Jim Forrest being in the team, Bridge?
No. I think the only one you would put in there, unless if you didn't want Forrest, you would go for Jimmy Miller. But in my personal opinion, I think Forrest had done enough. He was a sensation. He was an absolute sensation for us. So we had a real shower of stars coming through in the mid-60s. Just fantastic to watch. and Jim Forrest was well up there. I watched him against Real Madrid at Ibrox, and he did everything but put the ball in the net. He smashed the ball in. It was like, and some parts of that game, it was like playing against Kilmarnock the other day. They were just like 10 men behind the ball. I'm not kidding. We were brilliant against them, and Forrest did everything. I can't remember the goalkeeper's name, but my God, they had a fantastic night against us. Brilliant night. So
he ended up going to Aberdeen Bridge, didn't he?
That's correct. The Berwick Rangers finished him.
He left us.
He took the fall for that, didn't he?
Preston North End.
Yeah.
Right, so we've got to get 2 men in there to support the forwards. Jimmy Miller's been mentioned. What would your choice be, Albert?
Inside forward. Prime Minister McMillan.
Oh yes. What a player.
You know, by the way, I just found an interesting fact about the wee Prime Minister. Do you know he was part-time at Rangers?
Only ever part-time.
Because he was an architect, wasn't he?
He was a professional outside the football, aye.
He was an architect.
He wasn't just a good architect, he was a great architect. See what I've done there?
I just found that out recently. I was quite astounded going like that. Because you trip that team off your tongue and you go, I can't believe it's part-time. I think there might be even more than just him part-time. I don't know about that, but there might be.
I think Baxter was part-time as well, wasn't he?
was he no a great Airdrie supporter, Ian McMillan? Was that no his club? Was it?
He was the director at the right part.
He managed Airdrie. He managed Airdrie.
Became a director. He ended up becoming a director there. Aye, he loved Airdrie. He was from that area.
Anybody against Ian McMillan being in our team?
He's a must. He's a must. The cleverest inside forward I'd ever seen. There you go. Fabulous. Just fabulous.
Well, we've got one more to get in this team. Blue Star.
Alec Willoughby.
Oh, a good personal friend of mine, unfortunately no longer with us.
Jim Forrest's cousin.
Cousins.
Cousins. Alec Willoughby. Oh, would they make that team the whole decade of the 60s, Fox?
I don't know, mate. There was loads of... Alex Scott was another one I remember from back then. Was a good player as well.
Try and get Jimmy Miller in there for a bit of physicality.
Jimmy Miller would have been in front of him. But we had great... They were greats. They had that many greats. Brand as well. Yeah.
Aye, without a doubt,
Ralph Brand has got to be. Ralph Brand was a marvellous player for Rangers. If you looked up his record, you'd find he scored a lot of goals as well for Rangers.
All right, I'll do that for you, Bridge, just for you.
Thank you, pal.
Old player, you're struggling here. You got to get one player in the team.
Who, me?
Aye.
Want to get in? Oh, God.
I like Ferguson.
Who's the comedian?
Brilliant.
As a manager?
I would actually put Miller anyway. I would actually put Miller in.
Ralph Brand, 324 games, 210 goals.
There you go. Some record, isn't it? Some record.
Aye, but it's not quite there.
No, not centre forward, remember. He was an inside forward. Aye, so you're talking about good at scoring goals and assists.
How many games, Ox? How many games?
324.
And 110 goals.
210 goals.
210 goals. That's good and all, isn't it?
13 penalties. So do you want me to look at Jimmy Miller?
Yeah, that would have been some forward line. Good grief.
That was scored 1,000 goals between them.
I know, between them.
Yeah, in a season. I went to school with Ralph Brand's boy, Dean. So I would have him in my team because Ralph Brand, excellent.
Because Jimmy Miller. Free tickets, boys.
No, I never needed free tickets. Jimmy Miller and Ralph Brand in that team for me.
Did Ralph Brand end up driving a taxi? Right?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He used to travel to Ibrox in the subway. He used to come across in the subway with the Bears. Unbelievable.
And there's
he went into the pub.
330 games, 169 goals.
Jesus. Yeah.
I think a lot of them were. I think a lot of them, the goalkeeper went in the net as well as a ball.
Well,
how many goalkeepers did they score?
That's it, yeah. Well, I think most goals did happen at that bridge where it's goalkeeper, net,
that's
half
it, yeah.
back, and a lot in the back of the net.
Oh, that's it. You weren't doing your job right at centre forward, and they batter the goalkeeper.
And they were
right, Bridge, we've got the team. We've got the team.
Yep. You want it? I'll tell you.
It.
Richie Shearer Caldow, Greg McKinnon Baxter, Henderson McMillan Forrest, Brandon Wilson. The great 60s team.
Surprise, surprise.
You got Forrest. You got Forrest in it, didn't you?
Yep. Think of this. See today's money. How much is that team worth?
Whoa.
Like,
unbelievable money.
Is it Scott Simon?
Yeah, Scott Simon.
David White.
You've got to remember, guys, at the late end of the 60s, the shall we say, the talent that Rangers could pull in as younger guys started to dry up a bit and ended up going out into the marketplace. That's when they started to really buy players. And then you get the great Colin Steen coming in the late 60s, 68, something like that, 68. My God, were we a rich and lucky team with a fabulous...
You couldn't be that good. You couldn't get him in a team in the 60s.
No, I wouldn't put him in before any of these, to be honest. I think he was a 70s man. His career switched over.
They were established players. I think maybe that's why they've been picked, because they were established players in the team.
Absolutely.
Colin Steen was a young gun.
Yeah.
But would Colin Steen get in the 70s? Would he get in and feed ahead of Derek Johnston?
I don't know. But Colin Steen was kind of early. See, maybe there's an argument here for splitting the decades into two.
That's a good point.
Steen was before Johnston.
Yes,
I know that.
1969.
Same decade.
1969 he gets signed, wasn't it, Steen?
68, 69, something like that, yeah.
68 he gets signed. First £100,000 player in Scotland.
Right.
Thanks John Lawrence every day of my life. I thank John Lawrence for buying it.
You forgot the house as well, by the way. Come on, £100,000 plus a house.
There you go.
Right, give us that team again, Bridge.
It's Richie Shearer Caldow, Greg McKinnon Baxter, Henderson McMillan Forrest, Brandon Wilson.
All right.
Jimmy Miller is sub.
Jimmy Miller could be a substitute for sure. You can hardly leave him out, really, couldn't you?
But would they have beat the 9 in a row team?
No, of course. No, of course, you're talking about different football.
Different football.
Yeah.
Plus, they guys played with big, heavy boots and they kicked a medicine ball about.
They'd have beat the Brazilian team in 1970, mate.
You keep a note of that team, mate. We'll compare the decades and we'll see.
Did they beat the Kilmarnock team on Saturday?
That team would have killed the Kilmarnock team, let me tell you.
Some of them are quite old now.
I think half of that team, as they are now, would have won against Kilmarnock on Saturday.
You know, if you think about it,
they'd have put the referee in the net and all.
One at a time, lads. One at a time.
Yeah, sorry guys. If you think of the half-back line, Greg McKinnon and Baxter. McKinnon was the fastest player at Ibrox until Willie Johnson came along. Look at a whippet, and he a great defender person, and Shearer and Caldow were great out in the wide, brilliant. So I'm happy with that team.
I'm just checking another stat. Here's one for you. I'm going to go to you, Albert, right? In the 60s, a guy, George McLean.
Oh, Dandy.
Right. How many goals did he score?
George McLean.
Was it 50 or 60, I think he scored.
I'd say remember that, no?
Big Dandy McLean.
I'll go that. 50 or 60.
Right, here we go. You listen to this one, Blue Star, right? He played 119 games and scored 83 goals.
80? Wow.
No chance.
Yes, fact.
Nah, I'm not aware of that. What was his name?
George McLean.
Never heard of him.
Get mentioned.
Big Dandy McLean.
You've never heard of George McLean?
No.
Was he also paid the prices?
Him and Forrest. Him and Forrest got the boot. The Berwick Rangers.
And that's how we ended up with Roger Hind as the centre forward in 1967.
Yep. Big Roger.
I'm telling you, Blue Star, you better not come back on this show for 6 months.
80 odd goals in 110 games.
119 games, 83 goals. You better go and do some
please, guys.
He was also the guy. He was also the guy that caused the modern day contract. He went and strike with Rangers. You know that? He went and strike when they play because he turned around and says we're providing entertainment, and at that time the pavilion and all that, the big stars and all that, and they were getting paid fortunes. He said we should be getting paid to them because we're entertaining as well. It's him that actually introduced the concept of the new contracts for professional players. That
dispute that they had brought in the concept of football being part of entertainment.
Yeah,
that's where that came from.
And what they dropped him because of the Berwick result.
Oh no! They played against Berwick Rangers and they were dreadful. And I think our board said, Mr. Lawrence says, "Well, nobody that dreadful any longer. You're not playing for us again."
80
two centre forwards who can't score a goal against Berwick. There you go.
I'm going to say this one more, and then I'm just going to start trapping these one at a time.
Oh.
Right.
All together now.
Who was in goal for Berwick Rangers that day?
Jock Wallace.
Jock Wallace.
Jock Wallace.
So would you say, guys, in that team he's went and mentioned there, would you say possibly the only position that he's wouldn't have rated the guy as highly as the outfield players? Would you say it was a goalie then?
Goalies never had end today, mate. That team was scoring all the goals.
No, but you know what I mean. If you were talking about, like, obviously, mate, all these guys were all class because they were all world renowned. But would you say the goalies weren't really in their days?
I would say it would be up to Chris Woods before we had a real class goalkeeper in my side.
I can remember back then. All I can remember back then was the goalies diving through the air when the ball hit the back of the net, mate. That's the thing
I remember. When you watch Billy Ritchie playing and the ball come in, you know, sort of the good height that they could clutch the ball and pull it into themselves, you know. Not like today where they would palm it away. We started seeing the content of Boswell, I remember, as the continental goalkeepers come in and you see them punching the ball out, you know. What the hell are they doing, you know?
Fancy things like gloves, Bridge.
Exactly, huge gloves. Remember, what was his name again? I can't remember his name. The German one.
Well, there was Lev Yashin that used to wear a big, huge, and he used to wear a big, huge Fair Isle jumper.
That was the thing, wasn't it, boys, back then? If it was raining, the goalkeepers couldn't move. There was a big woolen jumper on.
The German goalkeeper, I remember, Sepp Maier. They developed a special glove for him.
Yeah.
With suction on the things. Unbelievable. Big shovels with suction so the ball stuck there. Amazing stuff. Amazing.
But I remember seeing Gordon Banks and even as late as Peter Shilton playing with no gloves on. You imagine a goalkeeper doing that now? Not a chance.
Yeah, up until the 70s, that was pretty much the norm, mate.
Yeah. Because big Peter McCloy never used to use gloves, and I always remember him picking the ball up with one hand and thinking, Jesus,
he was some size of a guy, wasn't he?
Oh, he was. I mean,
some size of a guy.
So
I love it.
Thanks his famous save with Pelly. I don't think he was wearing any gloves.
No, he wasn't. Absolutely not. Yeah.
But you know, I used to love watching the goalkeepers come. Sorry.
Guys, out of that forward line, who would you honestly have said was the best forward, the best striker?
Blue Star. We'll let Albert go first, and then we'll go to Fox.
The best.
I can't believe Jimmy Miller's not on it, but there you go. On we go.
Well, in the team, I'd say Jimmy Miller, but in the team, I would probably say Forrest.
Would you say it was better than Negri?
Aye.
No, seriously, you'd have went for Forrest, aye.
Aye. And then, don't get me wrong, I don't think I was a joke with Negri. I thought Negri was brilliant, absolutely
Negri
brilliant.
Was brilliant, aye.
Fox?
I've got to go with Forrest, mate. He was scoring 50-odd goals in a season, mate. Come on.
Yeah.
He should be in the Hall of Fame, Fox,
Aye, without a doubt,
yeah,
mate.
it's tragic he never made it. Tragic. I'm hoping that there's a
petition started with this.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the supporters, that club 1872, do something like that. it'd be really worth it because he was a marvellous goal scorer. Marvellous. Huge legs. Wow.
Yeah. His wee cousin was Alec Willoughby, wasn't it?
Alec Willoughby, wonderful, beautiful player. Beautiful player. I think it was Ferenc Puskas complimented him at the San Bernabeu after they beat us, they thrashed us 6-0 or something like that. And he said that Willoughby was a wonderful player. Great halfback.
And what a gentleman as well. Boswell?
Aye.
Sorry, boys, I'm distracted. I'm trying to do two things at one time here, and I'm not very good at multitasking. What was the question?
Get your missus in.
Well, if you want to go and wake her up, Bridge, I'll...
No, I'm not doing that. No. That's called multitasking.
Is it really? No, sorry, I'll pass on that. I didn't get the question.
All right, I mean, what a team, all better. What a team, what an era.
I'm telling you, I hope you see the likes again, but I doubt it. But what a team.
All Scotsmen as well, mate.
Well, aye, all Scotsmen, aye.
Can I come in there? Bridgeman, Barry Gero in the lobby says to ask Bridgeman how good the wee Blue Devil was.
Well, that's before our time. Anybody on here? Alec Morton, Bridge.
I can only know his name. Only know his name, obviously.
No. Wembley Wizard. He's over there.
Wembley Wizard.
That's it. We're old, but we're not that old.
Yeah.
My old man told me a story about Alec Morton. Do you want to hear it?
Go on then.
He told me Alec Morton, when he came into the Rangers team at first, couldn't play properly, kept sort of outrunning the ball, tripping over the ball. And it was an old coach that stood there and watched him and decided, you're overstriding. And the way they overcame it is they sewed his shorts up. They were big long shorts. They sewed the shorts up at the crotch so he couldn't overstride. That's how they overcame it. Don't know if that's true, but that's what he told me.
That's probably is true based on the way you're talking about it. It probably is a kind of a story. It would be true. Yeah.
Just a bit of useless information for you.
Well, I think there's a lot of players that was at Rangers in the 40s and the 50s that they're still talked about today. One of them being the wee Blue Devil, Willie Woodburn. Goodness sake, he was supposed to be a fantastic centre half. And your dad did. Exactly, George Young. You know they were there. You knew of them, but no, obviously never went. I don't think I ever saw them playing. I don't think I was young enough to do that. But my God, George Young was a Rangers captain for years. You know, for years.
Yeah.
So, did you enjoy that, Jeremy?
It was good, though.
Enjoy that. Just use that team once, Mayor Bridge.
Richie Shearer, Caldow, Greg McKinnon, Baxter, Henderson, McMillan, Forrest, Brand, and Wilson.
Only Forrest does they get in for the famous teamer.
The firepower was incredible, wasn't it? Absolutely incredible.
Oh, something special.
Oh,
well, when you come to the 70s, you'll see things different. When you get to the 70s, you'll start to see different types of players coming in. You'll hear about, for instance, Davy Smith was Fox's favourite, with a wonderful left foot he had.
It'll be interesting to see if John Gregg gets in the 70s and the 60s,
Well, you know, it's there for him. Goodness, you know, that guy carried Rangers for years, didn't he?
Will Baxter get in the two?
No. He retired at 69 or something like that, didn't he?
But he came back. Remember?
No, he came back in
double the size.
He came back in 1969, and that was him. He only played half a season or something like that. Never played again.
I thought he got into the 70s, and he made that in 1970. No, make it in 1970.
Maybe season the 69-70 he played. I don't think he played after that, pal. But wonderful. I was when he came back for Forest. We were playing against Spurs, and he came on at half time. He was like a duck walking in there. This big belly. He was like a duck waddling in, you know. But my goodness, he still had a lot of class.
Gornick, I remember playing against Gornick that same season.
Gornick of Poland, yeah.
Aye, he's stepping up big gut.
Aye, exactly. You know, chings. Well, there's another one who I thought was quite a good player, but I think he had some limitations. But a boy called Alex Smith. But his face used to go bright red, you know. when he'd run about 20 yards, his face used to go red. But my goodness, he played well for us at times.
Some of the players that are playing for us in the last few years have red faces.
Anyway, gentlemen, we've reached that time of the evening.
Oh, what can I say? Well, a marvellous night, guys. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, down there reminiscing and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, I couldn't answer some of the questions about the wee Blue Devil, so apologies to everyone for that. But can I just say to all the Rangers fans all over the world, particularly Rangers fans on here on Rangers Radio, every single one is, just keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers really need us. And well done, Scotland, tonight.
Can I thank everybody who took part this evening? Great show. Everybody for putting their input. All Bear, Bridge, Fox, Blue Star, Boswell and George Logan. Been a pleasure. We'll be back tomorrow night between 9 and 11 talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Fox.